What is VTL Section 1192? 1. Driving While Ability Impaired, DWAI. By alcohol drivers in New York face a range of alcohol-related offenses, and many people are surprised to learn that you can be charged even if your blood alcohol content is below the level required for driving while intoxicated. Driving While Ability Impaired, DWAI. By alcohol under Vehicle and Traffic Law Section 1192. 1. Targets situations where alcohol consumption impairs your driving ever so slightly. The statute applies if you operate a vehicle when your ability is diminished but not to the extent required for a DWI. It's a lesser offense, yet it carries serious penalties that can affect your livelihood, insurance, and record. Understanding this law and how it differs from other charges is crucial, especially if you're dealing with a police stop or court case in Suffolk County. The law falls under New York's Vehicle and Traffic Law and defines DWAI as operating a motor vehicle when your ability to drive is impaired by alcohol. Unlike a DWI, which requires a blood alcohol content, BAC, of 0.08% or more, a DWAI covers situations where your BAC is between 0.05% and 0.07% or where other evidence indicates impairment. Since it's classified as a traffic infraction for first-time offenders, a DWAI does not automatically give you a criminal record. This distinction means that first offense DWI is prosecuted as a misdemeanor that stays on your record permanently. Courts impose penalties based on the number of DWAI convictions and your driving history. A first offense typically results in a fine of $300 to $500, up to 15 days in jail, a 90-day driver's license suspension, and surcharges and fees. You may also face a driver responsibility assessment of $250 annually for 3 years and be required to complete the Impaired Driver Program, IDP. A second offense within 5 years leads to fines of $500 to $750, a jail sentence of up to 30 days, and at least a 6-month license revocation. A third offense within 10 years is charged as a misdemeanor, with fines up to $1,500, jail terms up to 180 days, and a license revocation of at least 6 months. Because chemical test evidence isn't required to prove DWAI, prosecutors may rely on observations and other circumstantial evidence. Officers often testify about erratic driving, the odor of alcohol, bloodshot eyes, slurred speech, and how you performed on field sobriety tests. Admissions you make at the roadside and BAC results between 0.05% and 0.07% can also be used. Evidence is gathered through officer observations and field tests that law enforcement throughout Long Island are trained to document. These details underscore why you should exercise caution when answering questions and why consulting a criminal defense lawyer is critical. A key difference between a DWAI and DWI is the BAC threshold. A DWI requires a BAC of 0.08% or higher or evidence that the driver is in an intoxicated condition, making it a misdemeanor criminal offense. By contrast, a DWAI charge covers lower BAC levels and usually avoids criminal classification for first-time offenders. However, repeat DWAI offenses can be escalated to criminal status. Because of these distinctions, an attorney can review the evidence to determine whether prosecutors can meet their burden and whether the charge should be reduced or dismissed. Defenses vary depending on the circumstances of your arrest. A common strategy is challenging the legality of the traffic stop. Police need reasonable suspicion to pull you over. Field sobriety tests must also be administered correctly. Improper procedures, poor lighting, uneven surfaces, and inadequate training can undermine the results. Health issues and medications may affect balance and coordination, leading to misleading test results. Another defense is the rising BAC argument. Your blood alcohol level might have been lower when you were driving and higher when tested later. Finally, attorneys often challenge the accuracy and maintenance of breathalyzer devices. Because each case is fact-specific, working with a lawyer who understands New York's traffic and criminal laws is essential. A DWAI conviction appears on your driving record for 10 years. During this period, it will count as a prior offense if you face another alcohol-related charge. Even though it is a traffic infraction, it is not automatically sealed under New York law, so it may show up on criminal history background checks by the New York State Division of Criminal Justice Services. Insurance companies typically raise premiums significantly after a DWAI conviction, and some may cancel or refuse to renew policies. These long-term consequences highlight why it's crucial to address the charge promptly and seek advice from a qualified attorney. Individuals convicted of a first DWAI offense can usually obtain a conditional license by completing the Impaired Driver Program. The program involves 16 hours of classroom instruction over 7 weeks. It costs $75 to enroll plus up to $233 payable to the program provider, and participants may also need to undergo substance abuse evaluations. A conditional license permits limited driving, to and from work, school, IDP classes, medical appointments, and for a weekly 3-hour personal use period. However, drivers who have taken the course within the previous 5 years or who have a prior alcohol-related conviction during that time frame are not eligible. A lawyer can advise whether you qualify and help you navigate the requirements. Facing a DWAI or any alcohol-related driving charge in Suffolk County can be stressful, but legal help is available. Consulting a DWI defense attorney ensures you understand your rights and potential defenses, from challenging the traffic stop to questioning the reliability of breath tests. The law offices of Jason Bassett, PC, offers knowledgeable representation backed by experience in New York's criminal justice system. For assistance with your case, call 631-259-6060 or visit the office at 320 Carleton Avenue, number 4200, Central Islip, New York, 11722. Prompt action and skilled guidance from a dedicated lawyer may protect your driving privileges and help you move forward.